Hey, what's going on, everybody? Yoshi the Warrior here. So, I got another video for you today. Now, before I actually get into this, I want to make this point abundantly clear. I, for one, am not definitively claiming harmful opinions is in fact a Nazi. I am not making that claim and need to reiterate this because I don't want people thinking I'm trying to slander him, right? Trying to slander him and paint him as something to get him killed. This is not the point of the video. Now, if you've been following my channel, you are aware that I do know what woke is in terms of a philosophical standpoint. Woke is essentially just modernized, repackaged Marxism. Anyone that tells you anything different either just does not know or they're lying to you. Now, throughout the years, there have been people who have been advocating against woke, but the main problem with their advocacy is that they've never, under no circumstances, classified exactly and philosophically what woke is. And if you've been paying attention to the political left, who claim to be against Nazism, it's the same effect. They claim to be against Nazism, but at the same time, when you ask them, have you read Mein Kampf to actually get a better understanding of Hitler's framework to truly fight against white supremacy? They will all unilaterally say, no, reading that would make me a white supremacist. This is why they make pseudo-intellectual claims such as Hitler was a Christian while completely obfuscating the fact that Hitler was trying to co-opt the Christian church for his own various purposes, while also at the same time writing his own version of the Bible to co-opt the spiritual Bible of Jesus Christ. Because Hitler didn't believe in the spiritual version of Jesus Christ like we do. He believed in a earthly heaven on earth. As it says here, it is unclear whether Hitler's public defense of Christianity was sincere or an attempt to win popular support. In private, he could be strongly critical of organized religion. For example, he considered Christians' concerns with compassion and charity to be a significant point of weakness. That is already antithetical to the core values of Jesus Christ itself. He was a compassionate and charitable person. If Hitler sees that as a sign of weakness, then he sees the spiritual version of Jesus as weak. So he's already antithetical to Christianity. Hitler also believed the core values of Nazism, nationalism, obedience, and loyalty to the state were undermined or contradicted by the religious teaching. He feared the political influence of the churches, which could work against his own agenda. Because you can't be one of Christianity when Christianity, it's telling you to reject the flesh. It's always telling you to reject flesh and accept the spiritual and Holy Spirit of Jesus Christ himself to be saved. But Hitler wants to create a nation that is purely of loyalty and nationality to one's skin color of the flesh, a heavy focus on white identitarianism, which is antithetical to the Bible. The spread of Nazi totalitarianism in 1933-34 compelled German churches to take a position on Hitler, his regime, and their ideology. Some Protestant churches were open to their support of the Nazi movement. They pushed for the creation of the Hold on, let me, hold on.
Reichskirche.
Reichskirche, a state church loyal to Nazism and subordinate to the state. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. Hold on, let me go ahead and try it. The Deutsche Christian, German Christian, was the largest branch of German Protestantism and the most supportive of the Reichskirche. Jesus Christ, it's like saying a tongue. I can't even say. You can read this. Leaders saw Hitler as a revisionary, not unlike Martin Luther, the 16th century founder of Protestantism. Hitler, they believe, had the potential to transfer and to revive German Christianity. There was also a strong anti-Semitic strain within the German Christian. Some of its leaders urged the rejection of Jewish texts and the expulsion of Christian converts with Jewish heritage. the leader of the German Christian, Ludwig Müller, met with Hitler several times and promised his church support to the Nazis. But despite all this evidence, you still have people on the left saying, well, Hitler was a Christian, and therefore you're a Christian, therefore we have every justification to Charlie Kirk you. And that's honestly what I believe Harmful Opinions is actually aiming for. Because how he edits his videos clearly shows that the only type of person that he is actually interested in following his videos are the type of people who, under no circumstances, question his narratives and swallows everything that he says. It's his own dog whistle of leftist propaganda, but for the right or whatever freaking political opposition that he actually, caters to. And considering that he's weaponizing and watering down the term pedophile, it's clearly the far right. Just like how the far left watered down and co-opted the term racism, creating two cultural dialectical realms where it causes a political division within our society based on these new definitions to consolidate and to centralize political power. And based on the framing and Harmful Opinions videos, it's clear to say that he's looked at the enemy and said because the enemy gets whatever they want through friend-enemy distinction, it's perfectly fine to do the exact same thing.
Never mind. Yeah. We got to bring out, I think we might have to bring out Pippa's tree removal device. Just saying. That has to be trolling. I hope so. I hope so. This is out of context. I hope so. I really hope so, because what the fuck? Oh.
Andy. But also.
Abandoned because, yeah. But also, so he doesn't like the hypocrisy. That's amazing. Has to be one of his jokes? I hope so. You can't be both of those at the same time unless you're projecting and actually... Okay, yeah. So it's a little better in context. He's saying okay, that makes a little bit more sense. He's saying that his two different... Yeah, I think this is the context here. So he's actually saying that because he's acting like he's anti that, but DMing teenagers, that he's probably projecting too much and is actually... So yeah, basically he didn't ban him for being anti-pedo. He banned him for being a pedo. Allegedly, of course. Yeah. You told him that was going to get screenshotted out of context. That was so fucking bad. That was so fucking bad.
DMing teenagers. You can't be both of those at the same time unless you're projecting and actually a pedo.
Had me in the first half, not gonna lie. Exactly. I was like, what the fuck is this? Having it edited like that was wild. Again, at least he showed the actual context, so it's not like... Again, I don't like Harmful Opinions, but at least he wasn't lying there. I like the editing. That was fucking hilarious. That's the most fun I've had in either of these two videos, because, again, he's so fucking painful and so fucking smug, but no, that was amazing.
So long as you do that stuff and say it's good, you're clear?
Okay, and he's back to being a fucking retard. Dude, this is, again, I hate to bring it back to that Jackson dude, the blue-haired alt-right grifter shit, but it's the exact same pattern. You have an actual point, and then you just go off into Smearland, and so yeah, he had a bit of an argument there, and then just loses it in like ad hominem as like, oh, well then you must actually be a pedo too.
You cannot take a person like this seriously. If a person is taking evidence of a person doing exactly what you're asking for, but you're framing it in the first part as if he actually is against people who are against pedophiles, and then later on you show the evidence showing that actually he's doing what that you want, banning pedophiles, we can't take you seriously because he's not looking for intellectuals. He's not looking for an intellectual conversation. He's not looking for an honest conversation. He's looking for low IQ individuals where he can feed talking points to them and he doesn't have to worry about them talking back. Because if anyone questions him and they do have legitimate criticism, right, that he is posting information in a very dishonest kind of way, what is the first thing that's going to come out of his mouth? You're a pedophile. And then he's going to go on this witch hunt looking for information any way he can to frame you as one. Like, this is exactly the same type of behavior you see from Candace Owens. So criticize the Jews, right? And then someone says, hey, what you're saying about this particular event is not factually true. Here's the evidence that actually proves that what you're saying is actually false. Do you think she looks at the evidence and go, oh, my bad, let me make a correction? No. She doubles down, saying that, no, I am factually right. You're just some type of Zionist spy sent to kill me or some crap. And because I feel personally attacked, that means I have moral justification to uphold the information that I was saying not too long ago that actually is false is now true, because now you're attacking me, and your attack against me is vindication of the information that I presented earlier. Because if it wasn't true, you wouldn't care. But see, that's the problem. Just like Candace Owens, not caring is a sign of omission, but caring is also a sign of omission. So whether you're silent or you actually prove your innocence, you will always be guilty within their eyes. You cannot conduct a movement like this or a solution to a societal problem like this. Because when you do that, what you are introducing is its downfall, because it's not going to solve the problem. It's just going to cause even more problems down the line. And just like BLM activists, when their solutions backfire, do they ultimately own up to it and say, well, it looks like my solution to solve the problem didn't necessarily solve the problem. Sorry, guys, let's get somebody else to actually do the job a lot better than what I did. No, they don't do that. What they do is they pass the blame off to the invisible enemy, because you can't see it, but the enemy's there. So it gives them the scapegoat to be able to cover up the fact that they were the ones that caused the problem in the first place. This is why we constantly see people who fail constantly, time again, move up the status ladder of getting more money and more status, as opposed to, landing their ass back in poverty where they fucking belong. These people don't need to be popularized. They need to be marginalized. Not because of their skin color or the Jews said so, but purely because all their solutions come from crap ideas. And it is fair to marginalize crap ideas. Now, the more important question you need to ask yourself is this: what type of society, or at least in this case in the online discussion, online community do you, the individual, want to live under? Do you want to live in a society where a policy benefits everyone, including the marginalized, so long as they're willing to play fair? Or do you want to live in a society whose policies only benefits those who are the most loyal? In order for a solution to truly work and to truly be a long-term benefit to everyone, not only does the idea have to be susceptible to criticism on the outside, it also has to be susceptible to criticism from within. And if you can't accept criticism from within it, it's not a movement, it's a cult. Because no one can express their ideas unless harmful opinion gives you the approval to express that opinion. And if that idea is not vindicated through the process of harmful opinions, well, then guess what? And if it goes against his ideas, guess what? You're a pedophile. You're an enemy. We have to treat you like them. So again, I'm reiterating the point. I am not making the claim that harmful opinions is a Nazi. No one should be saying that. What I am saying is how he conveys and expresses his information is in a very disingenuous manner that is of the friend-enemy distinction, which is actually a Nazi tactic, to ensure that the only people that follow him without question are people who will under no circumstances question his narratives. He cannot have people like that within a space, because movements like this are not designed to build. They're not designed to create. They're designed to destroy. Oh, also forgot to bring this up. in accordance with Adolf Hitler explicitly stating that the propaganda should not appeal to those who think critically or intellectually, but rather to the masses who are guided by emotion and instinct. In Mein Kampf, Hitler wrote, "The task of propaganda lies not in a scientific training of the individual, but rather in directing the masses toward a certain fact, event, or necessities, etc. The purpose being to move their importance into the masses' field of vision." He further emphasized that propaganda must be simple, repetitive, and emotionally charged, avoiding intellectual complexity. He argued that the masses are not capable of deep reasoning and are more easily influenced by feeling than logic. A key quote from the text supports this. The broad masses of the people are more amenable to the appeal of rhetoric than to any other force. This reflects his beliefs that effective propaganda must appeal to emotions and instincts, not intellect, and that truth is subordinate to psychological manipulation and tactical effectiveness. So, again, am I calling harmful opinions a Nazi? No. Am I pointing out that his handling of information is very bad? Yes. Is the tactics that he's using very bad? Most indefinitely. If anything, I'm asking more of an improvement on your approach and investigation. If you do have actual evidence of grooming, keep in mind, that means you have, in fact, CSAM material on your laptop. And if you're holding on to this and you don't want to give this to authorities, that means you can be under arrest and prosecuted for possession of CSAM material. It's one thing if you kind of like come across CSAM material by accident. It's an entirely different thing when you're going out your way looking for it, holding on to it, and not working with authorities. Well, that's it for this video, guys. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, whatever. Do whatever you like. Just be nice in the comment section if you do end up leaving comments. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, take care and be safe, and God bless. Hey, I actually blinked this time instead of like doing a half-ass blink and like blinking with both of my eyes.